Welcome to the third session of Revision through MCQ series. In this session, we are going to discuss about important topic of Buddhism. I hope you have already watched the first and the second sessions of the series, in which I have discussed about Indus Valley civilization and Vedic age. The links for those videos are given in the description box, and you can also find the videos by clicking on the bell icon. Now, the purpose of this series is to solve some very basic questions to get a clear idea about the important topics of history. The first question, a basic question, that at which of the following places Buddha was born? The answer is simple. Buddha was born in Lumbini. But let's also have some additional information here that Kundagram was the place where Mahavira was born. Navadvip or Nadia was the place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born. Then Kaladi was the place where Shankaracharya was born. So answer here is simple. Buddha was born in Lumbini. The next question says that at which of the following places Buddha passed away? Buddha passed away at Kushinara, also called Kushinagar. Additional information that we can have here is that the Mallas had two capitals. The Mallas were republican tribes in the age of Mahajanpadas, and the Mallas had two capitals. One of them was Kushinara or Kushinagar, where Buddha died, and one of them was Pavapuri. Pavapuri was the place where Mahavira passed away. So both the capitals of Mallas very important. Yaad rakhenge. Kushinara, Buddha passed away, and Pavapuri was the place where Mahavira passed away. Taxila basically was the capital of Gandhara. And Shravasti was one of the main political centers of Kosala Mahajanpad. So answer is very simple. Buddha passed away at Kushinara or Kushinagar. The next question says that Buddha belonged to which tribe? It's very interesting to find out that Buddha belonged to the Shakya tribe, and that is why he was also called Sakya Simha, the lion among the Sakyas. And it is again very interesting to find out that Ashokan pillars often represent the lions, connected with the Buddhist-like symbols, because Buddha would also be considered Sakya Simha, the lion among the Sakyas. Again, now in this question we have to figure out the correct statements. The first statement says that the foster mother of Buddha was Sujata. The first statement goes wrong because the foster mother of Buddha was Gautami. Additional information that we can have here is that actual mother of Buddha was Mahamaya, but she passed away soon after birth of Buddha. So Buddha was actually raised by Gautami. And again, it is super important to know that Gautami was the first woman to be inducted into Buddhist Sangha. Now the second statement says that the most favorite disciple of Buddha was Alara Kalam. The second statement goes wrong. One of the initial teachers of Buddha was Alara Kalam. And again, it is additional information that we can have here is that the most favorite disciple of Buddha was Ananda. And Ananda was the person who compiled Sutta Pitak, the famous Buddhist literature that would talk about the Buddhist teaching. Next question says that at bank of which of the following rivers Buddha got enlightenment? Buddha got enlightenment at Bodh Gaya. And Bodh Gaya, a place in Bihar, there Buddha got enlightenment on the banks of Niranjana river. Niranjana river now is also called as Falgu river. Additional information. On the banks of Rijupalika river, Mahavira got enlightenment. And Varuna river. Again, information here that you can have is that Varuna and Asi, they were the two streams. And on the confluence of Varuna and Asi was the famous town of Varanasi. Saryu river, on the banks of Saryu river, Ayodhya or Saket was situated. So answer here that Buddha got enlightenment on the banks of Niranjana river. A would be the answer. The next question says that Lord Buddha's image is sometimes shown with the hand gesture called Bhumi Sparsha Mudra. It symbolizes. It's very interesting to find out that when Buddha was about to get enlightenment, the god of illusion, Mara, tried to distract Buddha from meditation. But Buddha remained undeviated from that meditation and then touched earth to call earth to come and see the purity and the earnestness of his efforts. This famous style in which Buddha is often represented is called Bhumi Sparsha Mudra. And here then the answer would be that Buddha's calling of earth to witness his purity and chastity despite the temptations of Mara. That would be the answer. That is what is called the Bhumi Sparsha Mudra of Buddha. Often the images of Buddha are represented in this Bhumi Sparsha Mudra. The next question says that lotus is a symbol connected with Mahaparinirvana of Buddha. Death of Buddha. You should know here that death of Buddha is called Mahaparinirvana, and this Mahaparinirvana is represented with the symbol of stupa. So the first statement goes wrong. The second statement says that Bodhi tree is a symbol connected with the start of preaching of religion by Buddha from Sarnath. We should know that Bodhi tree would basically is a symbol that is connected with the enlightenment of Buddha. And then Buddha started preaching religion from Sarnath, and that is basically called Dharma Chakra. Dharma Chakra Parivartan. Dharma Chakra Parivartan. Now, this start of preaching of religion is basically represented by the Dharma Chakra or the Dharma Chakra wheel. So, the second statement also goes wrong. The next statement says that Buddhism does not believe in soul, gods, or supreme creator. It is correct. It's a pure atheist philosophy. So, Buddhism does not believe in soul, nor in smaller gods, nor even bigger god or the supreme creator. Purely atheist philosophy this is. Then second statement says that the goal of Buddhism is moksha. It is incorrect. As there is no soul in Buddhism, that is why you can figure out that there cannot be any moksha like thing. No, there cannot be any moksha like thing. And that is why Buddhism does not talk about moksha. Rather, it talks about the concept of nirvana. So, what is nirvana? The perfect conditioning of mind. A mind without any desires, any ripples, perfect conditioning of mind. That is what is called nirvana. So, the supreme goal of Buddhism is nirvana, not moksha. So, the second statement goes wrong. First statement is then correct, and the second statement goes wrong. Now, it's simple to solve the next question, which says that which of the following describes best the concept of nirvana in Buddhism? Just now we discussed that nirvana is perfect conditioning of mind, the extinction of the flame of desire, so that mind becomes perfectly conditioned, able to see the truth. The next question says that which of them is not a part of Buddhism? Three Ratna is part of Buddhism. What is Three Ratna of Buddhism? Buddha, Sangha, and Dhamma. considered the three Ratna of Buddhism. Then second says Ashtangik marg. It's a prime concept of Buddhism. Buddha says that the world is full of sorrow, and sorrow is because of desire. Desires can be conquered through the Ashtangik marg, the eight proper ways of living. If this is so, Ashtangik marg is a big concept of Buddhism. At the same time, one of the main philosophies of Buddhism is Pratitya Samutyapad. What is Pratitya Samutyapad? The logic of cause and effect. Cause and effect. That everything is because of a cause, and that would create the effect that would become the cause for the next effect. Pratitya Samutyapad. So, what is not part of Buddhism is Anekantvad. Basically, Anekantvad is not part of Buddhism, so D would be the answer. It's basically a part of Jaina philosophy. What is Anekantvad? In Jain philosophy, the Jainis believe that from different angles the truth would look very different. And that is why no one has perfect knowledge apart from Tirthankar in Jainism. Now, this philosophy in Jainism is called Anekantvad. So, something which is not part of Buddhism here, answer would be D, Anekantvad. The next question says that which of the following were common to both Buddhism and Jainism? First says avoidance of extremities of penance and enjoyment. First goes wrong. Buddhism believes in Majjhim path. Majjhim path. Or what is Majjhim path? The middle path. Nothing to the extremes. On the other hand, Jainism believes in extreme paths. One of the reasons why Buddhism that time had more number of followers than Jainism is because Jainism talked about extremes, but Buddhism talked about the middle path. So first, avoidance of extremities of penance and enjoyment. That is what is the Buddhist philosophy, but it is not common to Jainism. Then the second says that indifference to the authority of the Vedas. This is common for both Buddhism and Jainism because none of them they believed in superiority of the Vedas. Third, denial of the efficacy of the rituals. Third is again common to both Buddhism and Jainism. Both of them they oppose rituals. Fourth, non-injury to animal life. Fourth is again common to both Buddhism and Jainism because both of them they talked about ahimsa. So first is gone. And if we start eliminating one from A, one from C, and one from D, we get the answer 2, 3, and 4. That would be the answer. The next question says that at which of the following places the third Buddhist council was held? Let's have some information here that the first Buddhist council was held at Patliputra, and this was patronized by Ajatasattu. Then the second Buddhist council was held at Vaishali. The ruler this time was Kala Shoka. Then the third Buddhist council was organized in Patliputra and the ruler this time was Ashoka. The fourth Buddhist council was convened in Kundalwan. This is a place in Kashmir. So Kundalwan, it's a place in Kashmir, and this was the time the ruler was Kanishka. So the third Buddhist council, if you talk about, the third Buddhist council was convened at Patliputra. C would be the answer. Now next question says that, who among the following presided over the Buddhist council held during the reign of Kanishka at Kashmir? Just now we have discussed that in Kashmir at Kundalwan, the fourth Buddhist council was held and it was patronized by Kanishka. This was the time it was presided by the greatest scholar, the Buddhist scholar Vashumitra. Additional information here is that Vashumitra was supported by Ashwaghosh. who was the writer of the famous Buddhist literature, Buddha Charita. Next question says that Sutta Pitaka was compiled in the first Buddhist council. The first statement is correct. Sutta Pitaka was compiled in first Buddhist council by the famous disciple of Buddha, Ananda. Sutta Pitaka. Sut is listen. So basically, what Ananda, the most favorite disciple of Buddha, had heard from Buddha, all that was compiled into this Sutta Pitaka, and basically, this was based on the basic teachings of Buddha. The second statement says that Vinay Pitaka was compiled in the second Buddhist council. The second statement goes wrong. Vinay Pitaka was also compiled in the first Buddhist council, and basically it was compiled by another disciple of Buddha, Upali. Now, Vinay is behavior. So basically, Vinay Pitaka talked about the behavior of the Buddhist monks in Buddhist Sangha, and that was given in Vinay Pitaka. So Vinay Pitaka basically gave the rules for the behavior of the Buddhist monks, compiled in the first Buddhist council by the disciple, another disciple of Buddha, Upali. Now this question says that some Buddhist rock-cut caves are called chaityas, while others are called viharas. अब याद रखेंगे, if we talk about Buddhist architecture, we should know that the Buddhist architecture can be divided into three categories: the chaityas, viharas, and the stupas. What are chaityas? Chaityas basically is a place of worship. And what is vihara? Vihara basically is a dwelling place for the monks. So B here would be the answer. The third category of Buddhist architecture is stupa. Stupas are connected with the parinirvana or death of Buddha, and basically the stupas are made on some of the relics of Buddha. So the three prime forms of Buddhist architecture, yaad rakhenge, chaitya, vihara, and stupas. The next question says that consider the following statements: which of the above are features of Mahayana Buddhism? Look, after death of Buddha, with the passing of time, gradually the ideological differences emerged among the members of Buddhist Sangha, and gradually the two groups emerged. One of them was called Viravadins. One of them was called Mahasangikas. Now, Viravadins were basically very orthodox. What they wanted basically strictly sticking to every teaching of Buddha. On the other hand, Mahasangikas, they were heterodox. What they wanted liberal interpretation of teachings of Buddha as per the time. The Sthaviravadins later emerged as Hinayanis, and the Mahasangikas later emerged as Mahayanis. Mahayanis basically started considering Buddha as a deity. So first statement is correct, deification of Buddha. Second, they started worshipping the different aspects of Buddha called as Bodhisattvas. So the second statement is again correct, reading the path of Bodhisattva. Additional information that we can have here is that Bodhisattvas basically represent different aspects of Buddha, and it was believed that they were capable of getting salvation, but they would delay it to help all the others in getting salvation. They were called Bodhisattvas. Third, image worship and rituals. Yes, the Mahayana just started worshipping images of Buddha, as Buddha would be considered a deity. So all the three features, they were features of Mahayana Buddhism. The next question says that in Mahayana Buddhism, Bodhisattva Avalokiteshwar was also known as. First of all, you should know that when you talk about Bodhisattvas, the most important three bodhisattvas are considered Vajrapani, Manjusri, and Padmapani. Vajrapani represents strength. Manjusri represents wisdom. Then Padmapani basically represents compassion. These are considered the three most important aspects of Buddha in the form of bodhisattvas. Then Padmapani Buddha is also called Avalokiteshwar, and here then the answer would be C. The next question says that Nalanda was patronized by Ashoka. It is definitely wrong because Nalanda, the great Buddhist university, was established in Gupta age. And basically it was established by the Gupta ruler Kumar Gupta. Kumar Gupta I. In Bihar, the great Buddhist university was Nalanda. So it would come in Gupta age. So it was not there in modern age at all. So the first statement goes wrong. The second statement says that Vikramshila Buddhist University was hub of Vajrayana Buddhism. Again, this is correct. If you talk about Vikramshila University, it was basically established in times of the Palas in early medieval time. And basically, it would become a great center of Vajrayana Buddhism. From here, the cult of the idea of Vajrayana Buddhism also would get transferred to the places like Tibet, Mongolia, Nepal, and so many other Himalayan nations. The hub of Vajrayana Buddhism that time was Bihar and Bengal area, and Vikramshila University, the most famous place it was for propagating the idea of Vajrayana Buddhism. Vajrayana Buddhism basically is a branch of Buddhism that believes in magic and the help of Guru to get salvation. Now, this is what I wanted to discuss with you in this session of Revision through MCQ series. Very soon, I would be there with the new session of this series in which we will discuss something about Jainism.